Yes, welcome back. So once you're done opening an account with MongoDB, once you check your mail, you're gonna see a mail from them. You can see this is MongoDB. So because I just created an account with the MongoDB Atlas, and that's why I'm able to see this. And once that is done, you will see this telling you to sign in. So I'm gonna sign in. I'm gonna try signing in using the email that I used, and that is Tclassified.com at gmail.com. So I'm gonna try signing in. If I'm able to sign in, then I'll be able to. Okay, you can see the email is taken. Then I'm gonna put password. So the password I used in creating the account. So I can click remember me so that I wouldn't have to do this every time I want to log in. Okay, say your session has expired, please log in again. Okay, click login, password. Your session, oh, why is it saying my session has expired? Okay, so let me just get back to MongoDB Atlas. Okay, sign in. Since I've already created an account, so I'm gonna click on sign in. Okay, brings this out. So username, my username is Tclassified.com at gmail.com. Okay, next, my password. So use a password you can remember. Yeah, so you can see it's logging in. So once it's logged in now, I'm gonna be able to create clusters. Clusters are just services for database that you can use to do a whole couple of things. So about being logged in to the MongoDB Atlas. So with that, I can create clusters and get my database connected to my RESTful API, so that we can go on with our back-end design, back-end development. We'll be able to persist our data in the database now that we've created our database. So with that, we can do a whole lot of things. So I'm gonna wait for the cluster page to come out so that I can quickly create the clusters. So like I was saying, the difference between my SQL and NoSQL database is that in NoSQL database, it works like document. It works in form of that document. You understand? You call it document database, where you have the data represented more similar to what you see in JSON. And you can use ORMs to fetch and manipulate data in NoSQL, similar to what you can also do in MySQL. But in MySQL, you use what we call structured query language to access and manipulate data in MySQL in SQL databases. So example of SQL databases is MySQL. Yeah, I've been making that mistake actually. But MySQL is different from SQL. SQL is general database system that you can have. Which one example is MySQL, another example is Postgres. And you also have Oracle database. So all of them are examples of SQL database. Then the other type of database is the database called NoSQL. NoSQL. That means they don't use structural query languages. So very good example of NoSQL database, and the most popular NoSQL database is MongoDB. And that is why we're using MongoDB for this. So you can see that the cluster page is fully open. So I'm going to click on build a cluster. So I want you to follow the steps that I'll be following. You see, so you have starter cluster, you have a single region cluster, and you have multi-region. So these are the clusters that we have. But you can see that this very one is $0.08, and you don't want to do something that you have to pay for. because you're still in the development stages. So I'm going to use starter cluster that is free. So I'm going to click create a cluster. So make sure you use a free tier because you're just starting. When you start big and you feel that you want to do something bigger and you're developing an application that can be used by much number of people and for more useful things, then you can use any of the other paid clusters. So you can see here we have the cloud providers. You have AWS, you have Google and Azure. I'm going to choose AWS. So once you choose AWS, you can pick the region that is closer to you in these ones. So you have North America, Europe, Asia, Mumbai, Frankfurt and the rest. But I think closer to Africa is Europe. Europe is much closer to Africa. So once you finish making these two selections, leave every other thing the way they are and click on create cluster. So once you click on create cluster, you're going to see that your cluster is being created. You can see where it is written your cluster is being created. So while your cluster is being created, I want you to click on the security tab. Or do we have to wait for this to finish creating? Okay, let's wait a minute so that we can see the security tab and we can move forward. So please make sure you follow the steps that I'm highlighting to make it far easier for you to work on. So our cluster is currently being created. Yes, like I said before, if you have any questions and concerns, you drop them in the comments section so that I can always look at them and proffer solution to them. If you need to contact me, I always drop my number. You can also communicate via WhatsApp so that we can have closer interactions and I can take your questions as they come real time. The people that are already on the WhatsApp group, you can see how interactive it is. I'm able to take the questions as you ask them. Good. So while we wait for the cluster to finish creating, I'm going to go to security. Can you see the security tab? I'm going to go to security and I'm going to click on database access. So I'm clicking on database access because I want to be able to add user to my database and be able to connect and do other things. Okay, and now database access is selected. You can see where they wrote add new user. So I'm going to click on add new user. So once I've clicked on add new user, I should be able to type in the username, but I already have Tclassified.com at gmail.com. That is my own the email I use as a username. So I can actually leave it like that, or I can simply type a username. Then there is auto generation of secure password, which you can click on show so that you can see the password. So I'm going to click on generate so that it will generate another password for me, and this is the password. So I'm also going to change this username. I'll put a simple username. I'll just say Austin, and this is the password that I generated. Make sure you click this auto generate so that you generate a password. So make sure you copy this password, very very important. When you're going to be connecting to your database, you will need it. So I'll copy it, then I'll go down here on the text that I'm using for you, the place I placed the code. You remember that I already uploaded it so that you can see them and use them. So I'll put this password here. I'll also write my username, which is Austin, and I'm going to be using it when we are doing the connection. So having done that, now you have a password and you have your username. I'm going to select under user privileges, read and write to any database, because that is what the privilege I want this user Austin to have, and I'm the developer, so I should be able to have this privilege. Then I'll finally click on add user. So that's the final thing you do. I'm going to close this up. So having done that, I should be able to move forward. So I'm going to go to, so you remember that our cluster is still being created. So while we wait for the cluster to finish creation, we're going to be doing other things. So you can see now that this my database has a user named Austin, who has the privileges of reading and writing to the database. So that done, so we're still waiting for our database to finish creation. So I clicked on settings to check out things that are there. Okay, this is where you can delete your project and do a whole lot of things. So I can also click on advanced so that I can see other things. Network access. Okay, yeah. So let's continue. So please click on under security also. After clicking on database access and creating a user, click on network access and click on add IP address. So click on it because we want to work on this IPY list. So when I click on that, you have add current address and allow access from anywhere. So make sure you choose this allow access from anywhere. Then click on confirm. So that's about the last thing you do. So once you've clicked on confirm, you're okay. So if you get back to your project, you should be able to see that your cluster is fully created. So in subsequent classes, we are going to be learning how to connect this very cluster that we've created to our RESTful endpoints so that we can persist our data. So if you have any questions and concerns, please drop them in the comment section. So I clicked back on the clusters and I see that I already have my cluster. So in subsequent classes, we are going to be continuing. Thank you and God bless you.